Hey everybody, Edo here, and today I am reviewing 3 Button Shy games for their Wallet Series 1 2017 Kickstarter thing. So in this Kickstarter are 3 wallet-sized games. I have them all here, and I'm going to quickly review them. I've already played them, certainly, and so this is Turbo Drift. Turbo Drift is a simple sort of drafting, drawing, management type card game, maybe? I don't know how to describe it exactly, but it plays a little like Lazer Ryderz, which is a really neat game that just was on Kickstarter, but different. So you're going to set up a stage with a bunch of obstacles on a course. You're going to put a finish line, you're going to put a starting line, and then you're going to have cards out for the number of players. And then basically what happens is, and I'll make some more room here, and I know I just messed this all up, but you have a bunch of peel-out cards that get lined up in a 2x3, so like this. And then when it's your turn, you can pick 1. You can pick 2 or a column, or you can pick a row of 3. The thing is, you got to use all of them, and they work by you take your cards and then you attach them to the front of the card and the back of the line to make your little track. So it's a sort of visual alignment game where you're moving out and you can sort of do a turbo, but in the turbo you have to shuffle them and you don't know what order they're going to go. And you can't crash into other players, and you know, it works, it's simple, it's quick, you're sort of reversing and trying to make it through the course. I mean, I think in terms of making these games light, fun, little wallet-sized games, I think it's good. I think it's nice too because you have sort of that table play blocking dynamic of actually a physical game in the board, and I think in that regard it plays well, and the actual forcing you and thinking about how you're going to use those cards as they sort of twist and turn works. So it's fun, quick, little car driving game that does make you feel like you're pulling out and turning around, and there's enough of a congestion at the end and not wanting to hit each other that I felt like, you know, you could catch up or somebody could make a mistake and make it work. So this is Turbo Drift, Game 1, cool little title. Next up we have Find Your Seats. Now this is a true card drafting game where essentially we are party planners and we are going to be putting people together. What's really neat about this game is, you know, we're drafting cards and picking them up, but we're playing from our hand into our table, and we have a middle seat, a left seat, and a right seat. And based on who you put next to each other, each player character has ability, like, hey, you know, one guy wants to be next to women, another one wants to be able to talk to other people about things she knows, another guy doesn't want to be near anybody, some guys turn people over and get them to leave. So you have this sort of player setup piece, but what makes the game stand out and far more interesting is as you play, other people are playing, and while you're focused on your cards, adjacency works around the table. So players who are playing, my rightmost player is next to the leftmost of the other player. So, of the player on my right, I guess. So you end up having to think about both what you're trying to accomplish and what the other player is accomplishing, and it works. I think the only thing that sort of takes away from the game is all of the character cards are unique and with the unique abilities, and it makes it a little slow to start playing. There aren't really any sort of like, oh, that's the illusionist, I know what she does. No, you don't. You got to read it. And I think that sort of takes away from it a little bit, but by and large, it still works, and I thought it was an interesting dynamic with both thinking about how I want to manage my seats, but then understanding I have this adjacency, and that made the difference in terms of giving it some depth and replayability. Obviously also cute when you think about the different character types and how they might relate to other people at the dinner table. So, this is Find Your Seats. The last game in the set is, well, they had a game called Avignon, a Clash of Popes by John du Bois, and I'll link the names of the other designers. It's not on the cards. This was the original game, and this is now the expansion to it. And I had not played the original. I have now. This is a very good game, deserving of an expansion, and I just reviewed it because I got the copy from them and I did it. But so, if you want to learn more about this, review somewhere around me. I'm in my head, but that's the review of this. But the sequel is a sort of standalone expansion where you have the same cities that you do in the base game, and you are going to create a line of 5 here. Florence, This map will work out if I get it correctly. And basically, the way this game works is we're popes, and we are trying to build our congregation, and there are 5 characters laid out, and on your turn, you can do one of 4 things. 1, 2, 3, 5 guys, I believe, yep. And I can do one of 4 things. I can push somebody to, it's a 2-player game, we're on opposite sides. I can push somebody towards you. I can pull somebody towards, they got names for these things. Pull something towards me. I can swap a guy out for the next character in the deck, in case I don't want another canonist in there or whatever. I'm hoping for somebody better to come through. And then you can also push, pull, swap, or use the ability on the card. Now, so here's the thing about this expansion, and it is standalone, and we played it standalone, and we played it mixed with, and you can mix it with the other, mix and match, and do all these different things. All of these cards are like the crazy cards. Like, all of the characters in the expansion are like the original game has like pawns and bishops, and this is all like queen and rook, and like it's just much more. All of the abilities are more complex, more complicated, and like crazier, and they just make the different things happen. And so it's super cool. It's like a welcome addition. Playing it standalone, if you've played the original, is cool, as is playing the original when you mix and match it. I think alone, without I would play the original. I guess what I'm saying is I'd play the original first. It's a better opener to the game, and I think it feels less swingy, where these are all like hyper characters that make it all feel more swingy. Balanced work, just as interesting. It's just playing with like the tier 2 characters versus just the basics. And I think the game does well to have the basics. So again, you can mix and match. I can certainly recommend this game. I would definitely recommend playing the original first. And I'm sure in the Kickstarter they're going to have some way to get the original too. So anyway, these 3 games, all interesting, all different, good set of these wallet size, and these are fun to carry around if you've never backed one of the Button Shy games. I've now reviewed quite a number of these, and they tend to be nice, solid, simple, quick designs that have good play in a small package. So check out the Kickstarter, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Most importantly, play some great games. Thanks.